Hi, good evening, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to my channel. It's Marjorie again. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for the support. I really appreciate you guys. I'm letting you guys know in advance. I wanted to talk about today's topic. I wanted to talk about men who waste your time, aka fuck boys. We all know them. We have them in our families. We have friends. We know them. We know them. So, and how to avoid them, how to spot them is really what I wanted to talk about. Those type of guys, they typically like to call you late at night. You know, he might tell you he misses you. Oh, baby, I want to see you, etc., etc., etc. It's a game. It's a game. He just wants one thing. He just wants to come and dump. So, ladies, be aware. Those type of guys, you definitely want to avoid them. You definitely want to avoid them. Another way to find out if a man's going to waste your time is he likes to manipulate you. He likes to manipulate your emotions. You know, for instance, you can ask him a question about his behavior and how he's acting, and 9 times out of 10, he likes to change the subject on you. He dismisses you completely, as if you never asked him anything. Beware of that. Beware of that. Better yet, those type of guys, they also tend not to text you back, you know, in a timely manner. You can text them, I don't know, you text them, you know, maybe you text them in the morning. You might not get a response until maybe like, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 o'clock that night. Sometimes he might not even text you until the next day. Beware of that, you know, big red flag. You know, he's going to waste your time. Don't even pursue something like that. Or someone like that, excuse me. You know, another way to spot someone like that who's going to waste your time. Typically, those guys, they're very toxic individuals. Individuals looking to satisfy their own desires. You know, they tend to fool girls. You know, tend to be flashy. You know, smell good. You know, tell you all the sweet nothings. Everything a woman wants to hear. You know, they think they have a lot of options, but in reality, they really don't. Little do they know that one day they're going to be old and they're going to want somebody to be by their side. But because they spent all their lives chasing women, you know, and having multiple options as they presume, you know, only to realize when they're an old man, they don't have anybody with them. They're lonely. They're by themselves. Now they're miserable. Those guys end up dying by themselves, you know. So my stance on that, or my opinion, is men should be a little bit more serious and just find somebody that you want to be with, that matches the same energy that, you know, as yourself. There's no reason to be going out here messing around with a bunch of women. It doesn't make any sense. You're really just wasting your time. In the end, you're wasting your time. You know, I can see if you do it, you know, from like, you know, 18 years old to like your, you know, your late 20s. But after 20s going into your 30s, that time is to settle down. You find somebody that you love and you settle down with them, build an empire with them, you know. But society doesn't make monogamous relationships a priority. You know, everybody is into the hookup culture, and that's not what it is. That's not what it is. It's really what it ain't, you know. But, you know, people they don't know no better. You know, they think hooking up with a bunch of people is the thing, you know. Women, you deserve better, you know. if a guy's wasting your time, you know what to do. I'm a firm believer. Let their ass go. You know, show them that you can do better. Everybody wants to be loved, but it's how you're being loved. Folks need to understand that you need to be loved properly. If he's not respecting you, he's not adoring you, he's not treating you well, he's not taking you out, he's not spending time with you, he's not the right man for you. Another thing is a guy who's going to waste your time. Those guys, they tend to not buy you gifts. If anything, they want you to buy them gifts. They want you to buy the $900 pair of shoes for them. And I'm only saying that because some guy asked me to buy him $900 shoes, and I told him, hell the fuck no, and hung up the phone in his face. Let me see here. I'm just looking at my notes. Sorry. Oh, another thing is, a guy that's going to waste your time. A lot of times they do this. They don't really bring you around their friends. They usually keep the relationship kind of secretive, so nobody really knows that you guys are together. They typically, it's just you and him. It's like a big secret. It's so private. Be careful about guys like that. A lot of times, they just want to use you, have sex with you, and go about their business. He'll even ask you to do inappropriate sexual acts with him. That right there is a big red flag. He obviously does not care for you. He does not have any respect for you. For him to ask you to do inappropriate things, I'm not going to be explicit here on YouTube, but use your imagination. Inappropriate things, ladies. He'll ask you to do inappropriate things that, your heart, it doesn't sit well with your heart. We have self-respect around here. Don't let nobody fool you thinking that it's okay to do certain things, certain acts, just to please them. That's not what it is. And another thing with a guy that's going to waste your time, those guys, they tend to like women to chase them. They want the woman to call them. They want the woman to text them. They typically won't initiate the conversation. Not the conversation. They typically won't initiate the phone call or the text. They're always, it's like cat and mouse with them. Like you could text them. I don't know. Let's just use an example. 8 o'clock in the morning, you text him, and he might not text you until, the evening time. And it's like, yo, like really, those type of people, you don't want to waste your time. You don't want to waste your time, because obviously he's not valuing your time. He's not giving you the respect that he needs to, and the acknowledgement that you called him. He's putting you on the back burner. A guy like that, you just don't want to waste your time. He's a time waster, and we all have a certain amount of seasons here on earth, and we should be using those seasons wisely. We should be spending that time with people that love us, that respect us, and adore us. Don't let people waste your time. If a person is showing you that they're inconsistent, they're showing you that they don't care, they're showing you that you're not important, you know what you got to do. Let their ass go. Another thing, thing I wanted to say is time wasters are typically immature type of people. They're grown men, but they have a mentality of a teenager. Their mentality is like a teenager. They're not really considering their counterpart or girlfriend or whatever feelings. It's like everything, it's always about them. They're throwing their tantrums. It's always about them. They're first. They're very selfish people. And nobody wants to deal with a person who's selfish. Nobody wants to deal with a person that only thinks about themselves. When you're in a relationship, it's always two. It's two people. Two people have to agree to a situation. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as you talk to each other, and you guys give each other feedback, you guys come to a solution, you guys fix the problem. And that's just simple as it gets. I don't know why people make relationships so hard. I don't know why people get into relationships if they're not ready. I don't know why people even waste folks' time if they know that they have internal issues that they need to address. My opinion is, if you are unhealed, you have childhood wounds, you have trauma, deal with those emotions. Deal with that. Get you a psychiatrist. Get you a therapist. Talk to somebody regarding your issues. Don't go and push that on relationships. You're getting involved with folks and now you're ruining their lives because you didn't deal with your childhood trauma. When you come into these relationships, men and women, you guys need to be whole. You guys need to be individuals that can give and take. You guys can reciprocate. They're sharing. Sharing is caring, as they would say. But on a serious note, folks need to understand that we're not here forever. We're not here forever, and that folks need to just respect each other. If you don't like somebody, don't mess with them. Just leave them alone. If you have no intentions of committing to that person, you don't want a relationship with that person, leave them alone. And better yet, if you don't want a relationship with the person, ask that person, hey, I don't want a relationship, but I want to do this with you, or I want to do that with you. And if that person's okay, then okay. You know what I mean? You guys both agreed, but you communicated that. It's the fact that people get into these relationships, they don't communicate what they want. They just basically go into these relationships just assuming that, I'm going to kind of get what I want in a sneak way. I'm not going to tell you exactly what I want. I'm just going to manipulate you into getting what I want. And that's the problem I have with a lot of males in society. But, people are going to do what they're going to do, but in my opinion, I avoid people that waste time. If you are a guy that's going to waste my time, I run for the hills. Because me, I'm the type of person, I like peace in my life. I don't like chaos. I don't like drama. So if I see chaos and drama, deuces. And that's how I live my life. And if everybody kind of lived their life like that, trust me, you'll limit so much drama. You'll limit so much drama. But anyways, guys, that's my spiel for the night. Thanks for watching, and I appreciate you guys' time. Have a good night.